Well, hello again from the edge of the weekend. Let's keep waiting for a bit. See who's around. Yeah, let me. Oh, people are already coming in. Hello, Oreosaurus. Let's wait a bit more. Oh my god, three people are already here. Peter's channel, Oreosaurus, ciao, ciao. Gone! Call everybody. Summon the people. Summon the Kösemenites. Summon the Ambiyun. Hello, TK Sivgin. 9 people already. Yes, yes. I'm reminded of these god awful Game of Thrones series where they're about to go to war and like commander guy or whoever he is, he's like, summon the bannermen. Bannermen. Summon the bannermen. These are banner men, people who like carry your banner and like spread the news around for soldier. Yes, we need buddies in this room. We already have 7 people. Once a while ago it was 9. But hello everyone from the CM Kozman channel. I haven't been doing live streams for a while, and just today, like somebody in the comments said, when are you going to do a live stream next time? And well, today is your day. I just felt such a twinge in my heart that I just launched it right here, right now. TK Sivgin, my close friend, says the ending of Game of Thrones was one of the most disappointing things I ever saw on TV. I wholeheartedly agree. It was especially cringe when at the end you see all the people like going in the forest humming the Game of Thrones theme song diegetically. That is to say, in films and TV, there is diegetic music or there is extra diegetic music. Now, extra diegetic music is when you hear the song but the characters can't, and diegetic music is when like it is sung real time in that scene. So if they're in a tavern and there's a song playing in the background, well, that's diegetic music. And at the end of the Game of Thrones car crash, all these people were going into the forest humming the fucking Game of Thrones theme. As if like, what are they doing? They're Game of Thronesing for generations to come. Oreosaurus had his or her mind blown from my explanation of diegetic music, it seems. Hearts are already pouring in. 8 people. Wow. Snap. You can't even find a person, but thanks to you, I got 8 to 9 or maybe 7 people at the snap of a finger. What's up, everyone? I hope you've been having a nice time. It's been all right for me. Chilling, painting, writing, and also doing some honest to God day job work. Hustling for an honest buck. And I cannot thank you for your donations. I mean, I go through this like call for donations on every stream, but most of you guys or gals are already kind of familiar from my streams. So I guess it's like beating a dead horse when I beg to you for donations. But if you're already donating to me on Patreon, consider raising that, consider inviting people to donate to this channel, share around my videos. How late am I, says Louis J. Not late at all. I just started like 5 minutes ago. So yeah, and also if you feel charitable, you can have one-time donations. Consider them as like super chats. So just go to the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description. VM says, Kozaman stream, smiley face. Oreosaurus says, any new updates on Snayad? Yes, many new updates on Snayad. I am posting them on patreon.com actually. I've just been working on human scale figures to go along with the creatures. And I'm also drawing entire families of flying creatures now. And, well, if you buy me a coffee, thank you so much, Louis J. By the way, if you go to buy me a coffee, you also see a secret bonus stage page that's not quite a Patreon, but it's not quite my website either. So basically, all these little, so I'm on my desk, okay? A few things come out of this desk. I either do sketches, which are like sketches, or I do paintings, which are like these, big paintings. Sometimes they're even bigger. But sometimes from my table, out come these little things that are not quite sketches, but not quite paintings either. Just look at this guy go. Oh my God. Just look at this guy go. So if you go to buy me a coffee, there's actually dozens of weird paint sketches like this. And it's like, these like weird bonus stage you would find on a strange 16-bit video game, like bing, 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 bing. It's like something you can never find anywhere else. So, well, if you buy me a coffee, you also get that benefit. Hmm. How are you all? Yeah, we got like 11-ish people here. What's that painting? My bad internet connections only show a yellow blur. You mean this one? It's not even a painting. It's just this kind of like, well, my internet connection is not the best either. So you'll just have to live around it. Or if you want to see it unblurred, just buy me a coffee. All right. All right, we got 15 people. Unbelievable. Let's do a roll call and then we can start answering the questions. Start hashing and dashing about for the night. Peter's channel says, bye, gotta go do some things. Well, Godspeed with you, brother. Hope you have a nice day or night wherever you are. In 5 minutes, 5 more people will come, says Oreosaurus. I hereby declare you my banner person or banner man or banner lady, whatever you want to call. You did the Lord's deed out here, summoning people. Thank you. 18 people. Wow. Okay. Now is that time of the night where you all tell everyone where you are from. Go, go, go. Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? Let's do a roll call. Representing 4 corners of the world. Australia, says Oreosaurus. Louis is from London. Yes, we already have half of the British Empire out of the way. Alican Yeşilçimen is from Turkey. Yes. Good. Also noted that you are following the official UN mandated nomenclature for Turkey now. They really had this hissy fit and they said, no, you must call the country Turkey now. How do you call Turkish people? Turkianese? I don't know. All right. Tijuana, Mexico. Organic Wolf. Hello, hello. Benny is from Germany. Represent. Absent Fish is from Sirnagora, the country of unending leisure. Yes, that's Montenegro. Popular is from San Diego. Nice. VM is from Smiley Face. I don't know where you're smiling, but I hope you're having a good time. Mr. Bulldogs is from Slovakia. Hello there. You had an interesting election recently, did you not? Xiao Xiao is from the USA. Come on, be more specific. Which state? United States is a big ass country. Peter's channel is back because their brother lied to them. Never trust your brother. Oreosaurus says, eat your brother. Okay, maybe not. All right. Hello, fellow vertebrates. Oh, we got a big shot over here. Steve Mopcannon, the awesome artist and writer behind the Phthanum B speculative evolution project, where life looks like a constant non-nuclear combined arms warfare assault environment, and there are creatures that look like land living ships and flying napalm bombers. It's a wonderful, wonderful world. Peter's channel is from Brazil, and well, I happen to hate suck. Nice. Okay, I think that's all. Is that everyone? Come on. There's 15 people on chat. There's got to be more than. Okay, well, everybody declared their country of origin. Now cracking. Peter's channel says, I like tegus. I that is it. I think that there is a species that kind of looks like a salami. You're talking about tegu lizards. I love them too, and my favorite is the crocodile tegu, which has this like big head. It really looks like a crocodile. It's got green jade colored scales, but its head is reddish, and its teeth are like almost like a Globiden's mosasaur teeth. So it's like it crunches snails and shit. Lovely creature. Monospondylus, TK Sivgin says, have Anatolian hieroglyphs ever been an inspiration for your art, such as hieroglyphic Luwian? Okay, let's bring some clarity into this. So, Anatolia, the country presently part of Turkey, has some historic languages, of course, like every other place. Now, historically, you used to have cuneiform, which was used by Sumerians and Assyrians and the like. But you also had the Hittite language, which was kind of similar. Sorry, my history is not very great. But then there's one language called Luwian hieroglyphics, which is a very unique form of language, a very unique alphabet too. I'm not sure if it's been deciphered yet, but it really looks crazy. It looks like that strange, a bit like that strange Phaistos disk people know from Crete. And to spell it out, that's Phaistos, the Phaistos disk. So it really looks like a wonderful. I have not been inspired directly for my art, but I think certain shapes are similar, especially in my surreal paintings. But actually, if you go to patreon.com, you can see the SNIAD scientific name dictionary, which is this big ass corpus of words I've been collecting from many dead Anatolian languages and some other languages besides. And the story goes that on SNIAD, the scientific names for the animals, they must have like at least one old earth science Latin or Greek root, and then one another word from those weird extinct languages. There are many, many, many languages. And long story short, wow, we got 20 people. Okay. Long story short, if you go to Patreon, you can see this thing for SNIAD. So the names are very unusual. You got, I did like a year of deep throat linguistic research there. Stream is frozen. Is it? Please confirm. 20 people. Yo, it's Steve Mobcannon. And Luwian were both Indo-European languages, says TK Sivgin, but the former used cuneiform, the latter used hieroglyphics. Thanks for updating me. It's not an area I'm very well versed on. Is there a possibility, asks Peter's channel, after being betrayed by his brother, he asks, can tegus become apex predators under certain circumstances? Yeah, you can make a realistic spec evo project like this. Now we have tegus already as invasive species in Florida, and imagine that in the future the water levels rose a little, so maybe on the coast of Florida you got this new series of ex-Floridian islands, and on one of them tegus could evolve to be this fox-sized, like basically terrestrial big predator lizard. So yeah, Marcio Mendoza, 3 weeks without videos. I missed you, man. Thanks, man. Hold on, new videos are coming. Troy Kratos says hi from Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, now I have to promote you. Okay, so we have a very talented author in our midst today, and it's Troy Kratos. He sent me one of his amazing stories. I've printed it out. I'm still reading it, but already I can tell you're a masterful storyteller. I'm really curious to see what's happening. And I sense it has got great autobiographical elements in it too. And so I don't want to spoil the story, but it's a kind of Lovecraftian creature encounter story, but it's set within a kind of like group of friends that are kind of like social and slimy and dishonest. But there's one character who has got like, I think he calls it the pull. So he has the pull away from the meaningless problem world of human social interactions and a pull into mystery unknown, basically a pull I have felt as long as I too have been alive. And it's just a wonderful story. Wonderful story. I don't want to spoil too much because it's private, but you are already a great author and I really respect your work. It's my bedtime reading. I'm so lucky to know you all, so I get free gifts like this. Hi from Poland says private Franek Dolas. Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. Fernando Katekai says, hello, my friend. They like the idea of elves and fantasy races descending from different branches of the ape family tree. I like that idea too, but I mean, if you move the point of last common ancestry far enough, you can also go to some pretty unsavory racist zones. So I don't know. I mean, what would elves be? Some sort of like South American monkey with like long, graceful limbs, but also tails? Elves with tails, that would be interesting. We already do have Homo floresiensis, which was this like dwarfish species of humans from Southeast Asia, basically. And they inhabited this crazy world with giant monitor lizards and giant storks and stuff. And they probably are responsible for a lot of the little people stories in world's folklores. So, yeah, there's actually a great story in a similar vein. It's called A Different Flesh by Harry Turtledove, one of my favorite authors. Go Google it. A Different Flesh, like a pound of flesh. But what happens is in this story, North America is inhabited by Homo erectus. So when people go there, they actually discover like another species of humanity. And they have this whole other sets of interactions that sometimes mirror the evils of our world and sometimes are wildly different. Fernando Katecaik says, when apes look at us, do they have an uncanny valley feeling or do they just view us as weird? Okay, like when I look at apes, I just see like intelligent beings. The more so when I look at these like benevolent orangutans, oh, they're so cute. And if I wasn't educated about biology, like if I basically lived in a hunter gatherer tribe and we encountered apes, they would be just like another tribe. I don't think I would even consider them as a different species. They are so like relatable. I think apes are weirded us out by us smiling. I don't know. With specific apes, there are very specific. Oh, we got 23 people. We're breaking new records. You all have been thirsty for some Daddy Cosman juice, haven't you? Oh, yeah. So, with specific apes, there are specific face reflexes you must avoid. For example, one of my most intellectually astute pursuits is one Zing Zing Monkey channel on Instagram. And it's such a sophisticated page. It's all about this fat Himalayan monkey, Himalayan macaque monkey, with one arm and a grandma who takes care of her. The monkey's name is Zing Zing. And if you like, even as much as look at Zing Zing in a disrespectful way, there's footage of Zing Zing like crawling up people's pants and like trying to like getting a choke on their shirts and like, what'd you say? Say that to my face, motherfucker! Do that one more time, motherfucker! I dare you, motherfucker! It's just like an angry person. Oh yeah. So also like this has of course dangerous precedents. For example, like I've never even lived close to gorilla territory, but they say like if you encountered gorillas, you must never do eye contact and like God help you if you ever do like this thing because it's like a huge flip off to them. Like the male would like tear you from limb to limb. And there are actually videos of like this stupid kid comes to the gorilla pen in a zoo and does the chest thumping thing, and the gorilla just goes berserk. And it's dangerous. All right. Interesting question from Private Franek Dolas. What if hyenas were domesticated or if they had fully colonized the Americas? If hyenas were domesticated, it would be interesting. I mean, people would call them ghoul dogs or something. And maybe the path of domestication would follow like Sudan up the Nile Valley. And then from then on, maybe into the Mediterranean world. So in Egypt, maybe they could have been used as like garbage devourers or just like guard dogs or something, like guard hyenas. But then you could get all the fancy breeds when they start crossing into the Mediterranean. So maybe in Minoan civilization, they would have fancy hyenas. And who knows? Like, I mean, when you domesticate animals, their colors, their sizes really change swiftly. So maybe some of these domesticated hyenas could be really graceful and interesting and weird looking. If they colonized the Americas, I don't know, it would be just another warmint for the settlers to shoot. Although the interactions, it's curious. I don't know off the top of my head if hyenas ever lived in the Americas. Maybe they did, with all that those bison and all those big herbivores there. I mean, they could have had a niche as scavengers. TK Sivgin says, "Have you ever read West of Eden?" Oh, you mean these? Aha, I got the whole trilogy. It's one of the most prized possessions of the C.M. Cosman Library of Alexandria. West of Eden, Winter in Eden, Return to Eden, these great trilogy of books. I don't know why they picked this name, to be honest, because it's like a deadly serious work of science fiction. And of course, if you know, West of Eden is just a riff on East of Eden, which is like a high literary work. They should have called it something like Extinction Event. Or I don't know. Like, I don't get that work. I don't get. Or they could have called it The City That Lives or something like that. That could have been interesting. Yeah, but these are great books. The evolutionary science behind them is not the best, I must admit, because it's a world where evolution has gone wildly different, and the dinosaurs did not go extinct, and there's a dinosaur like race ruling the Americas, no, ruling the old world. But they're not proper dinosaurs, they're actually secondarily terrestrial descendants of mosasaurs. And if you know anything about mosasaurs or evolution, that's like highly unlikely. It's like having intelligent sea lions that have returned to land as the dominant species, or it's just weird. But anyways, these guys have organic technology. They breed animals. They like, for example, they breed pigeons and they use them as compasses. They breed frogs with giant eyes and use them as cameras. It's like really wild. And there are also humans living in the Americas. These are not humans as we are or as we know them, but they descended from American monkeys. So somehow dinosaurs survived and mosasaurs did this evolutionary pretzel loop, basically. But American monkeys evolved and rafted all the same. That's just weird. But these books are great. Get them and read them. They are really, really great books. Okay, let me put these back. Oh, lots of messages, lots of messages. Let me just actually freshen up. All right. Just give me a second. Write your questions while you watch me freshen up. It's wet wipe time. Ugh. I went to my day job office for real today. It's been a tiring day, but it's always great to unwind with you guys. Ah, so fresh. I just think wet wipes are neat. They're probably the only nice habit that COVID introduced to our lives. So, yeah. All right. Where were we? Many, many comments. So, let me go. Oreosaurus says the Mexican aliens look like third grader science projects you could beat up for fun. Hell yeah. You should actually look at, well, I am actually going to do a deep dive on the website of the guy who claims to have discovered them. And he says they have discovered like several species of aliens, all of which look equally crap. And I don't know, he's just a fame seeking charlatan. What can I say? There was a speculative evolution project called the 20MYF by Sly. Yes, Sly Bearded Vulture. So he's been like a nemesis of one of my in real life friends, but he's also one of the like best speculative artists. And all the interactions I have had with him were like good. So I don't know anything about that drama there, but he's a great artist. And he's like the go-to person for realistic speculative evolution. And in his projects, there were apparently aquatic hyenas. I remember them. They look like weird sea dogs. TK Sivgin, once again, my repository of knowledge, says at least one kind of hyena, Chasma forhites ossifragus, has reached the Americas. Please, Memo, do some box ASMR for us. Says, I don't know a box. I do have a box cutter, though. You want me to cut you? I'm not going to cut anybody, but I do have a box but I don't get what exactly you mean by box ASMR, like open boxes and shit. I don't know. But I like boxes. I think those are neat. Okay. Oreosaur says lizard people. Donkey Kong Max says, what's the inspiration behind the heraldic figure on your website? I am afraid to disappoint, literally nothing. So in 2004, when I was a student, I was bored and I started posing naked in front of a mirror, and I was sitting cross-legged and shit. So I had lots of like arm poses. So I was also just learning Photoshop so I could superimpose images. So I just like did some poses and like did this image of myself like a four-armed creature figure. And then I just drew over those lines and I just added a weird head. It just all came together. When I was launching my internet profile, I really liked that image. So I used it as my personal logo and it just kind of stuck. I mean, I used to think it represented wisdom or like a higher creature with friends and stuff. I don't know. I don't really care. It's just a nice picture. But like one of the things I'm proud about is that I have this thing, it's like personal consistency. So I've kept using it and I felt no need to change it. Although a couple of years ago I drew it again. If you know the deepest lore in Kozumen verse, you would know that there's an older version of that thing and a newer version. And the newer version is more like loose lines and like more like balanced, while the older version has like thin, very precise lines, but it's kind of bullshit. Peter's channel says, I will come back later. Has your brother not betrayed you enough? Have you not learned from your mistakes? I'm just kidding. Oreosaur says, lizard people would probably have clothing to cover their reproductive parts. And maybe for fashion, maybe, maybe not. If you never had fur, scales are insulating. Also, like it depends on the type of lizard people. Like if they're like crawling intelligent lizards with still like four legs, they might have some like clothes, like some like weavings for their bellies to like keep them safe. It's basically like shoes. I mean, people wear shoes, so like a crawling intelligent lizard would wear a kind of um, knitwear belly shield, and maybe those could evolve into status symbols and stuff. And but if they're bipedal lizard people, they could maybe have hats, maybe some genital covers, but I don't know. Their genitals are not exposed, so why would they need to have anything over there? I don't think so. They would have hats though, because many lizard species are very visual. So they would have like little weird colorful hats that they use to denote status or gender or stuff. I don't know. Oh, many questions. Wow, I'm really happy. Louis J says, I would like to ask how you are doing. Life can be pretty crazy. How are you holding up in this world? Well, let me say only this much, that I don't know anybody who doesn't have shit going in their lives at the moment, except for boomers who are so out of touch with reality, so out of touch with life. I don't know. Like, it's sad and kind of dark, but our generation will only breathe easy after the previous boomer generation passes on and distributes all their assets. I cannot believe how selfish these people are. But some of them are all right, I guess. Okay, enough. Life is crazy. How are you holding up? Well, how am I holding up? You just have to take the bitter with the better. And if something hits you, you gotta be like that scene in that Brad Pitt tank movie, Fury, where you're going about and it's like something hits but skips over the armor. So you gotta be like that. You gotta have the shit. Like this is the imagine this is the shit. Come at you like this. You gotta shed that like a explosive reactive armor simulation. All right. Peters has been tricked by his brother again. Is your brother older or younger? If he's younger, you should beat him up. This is a joke. Luca Ricci says they were on a fishing trip in the wilderness and going to a nearby campsite for lunch. While hiking, they witnessed different changes to the wilderness around them that describe the Carboniferous. Maybe I missed some of the comments here, but who are they? Are if you're writing a story, this is very creative. But how many hits could a Hittite hit if a Hittite could hit height? To this, I would say many. Who knows? Did they not have the Hittite civilization in the first Age of Empires game? Not the classic Age of Empires 2, but the first one, where it's set before the Bronze Age collapse, and all the conversation is like, oh, habadab, or something like that. There's heated debate about lizard people clothing. I'm not getting in there. If any organism puts any non-living part of the exterior world to their body, I would consider that clothing. Even includes, yes, it even includes things like decorator crabs or caddisflies. You could call them clothing. And well, if a lizard puts a leaf on his head, that's clothing. If a bird, intelligent bird, puts like some sticks in its wings, that's clothing too. Fernando says, "I wish humans kept their fangs. It would make us look cool." Well, I heard they had them. I got nice canines. Aha! Let me light this up. I got nice teeth, don't I? Oreosaur says, "Thoughts on piss bullets? Like pellets, but they are pee and they shoot at others." My good friend, if you are a biological male, I hope in your later days you will never have to experience the pain that is kidney stones. Then you would know a thing or two about bullets. They're so painful. I never had them, but my late maternal grandfather had them. And when he was staying over at us, at night, he would go to the bathroom, and at night he would be like, I was like, "Grandpa, what's going on?" He's like, "Just kidney stones, my son." It was just sad. Troy Kratos says, "I must say you're the coolest Turk I've ever known, and I know a surprising amount of Turks." Thank you. I can guess the sort. I'll just be politically correct. I can guess the sort. That sort is like evenly distributed among all of humanity. I don't know. The specific problem with Turkey is that even the quote unquote educated people live in a bubble, and So if they want to become like, I don't know, a computer engineer, they think of themselves as like the Steve Jobs of Turkey. Or they want to become like a racer, race car driver, they think of themselves as the Ayrton Senna of Turkey. But they would never think of themselves in the scope of the entire world. This happens very rarely. So they end up being content in this insular country in universe kind of thing. And it I'll just say that it creates a certain kind of character which has lots of room for improvement. But then again, ne mutlu Türk'üm diyene. All right. Louis J says, your answer to my question about dealing with the difficulties of life through the Brad Pitt Tank movie has genuinely made me feel better. Thank you. Well, thank you for bringing that up. Carnos73 says, just wrote a midterm paper on placoderms. I don't know how I did. Reassure me. Okay, I'll reassure you. If you know about placoderms, you must be passionate about them. So if you're passionate about this, there's no way your project can be wrong or bad. So don't worry. Don't focus on the parts which you think you may have folded up, but think of all the parts with which you probably impress the people reviewing your work. Absent Fish says, can you recommend me sci-fi with cool and scientifically plausible aliens? Yes, go read Mission of Gravity by Hall Clement. It's Mission of Gravity, and it's set in a planet with extremely high gravity, and the leading hero is a centipede-like alien. The author was Hall Clement or Hall Clemens, but Mission of Gravity. Mission of Gravity. Mission of Gravity. I love this grave light effect I got going here. Let's see. I am gonna call it quits in like an hour, 15 minutes, by the way. Gonna call it a night. Kidney stones give you extra damage to the piss bullets. Look, I will respectfully, my friend, like when you raise a point, do not go over it over and over again in the chat so other people have time to comment too. For piss bullets, I don't know, it's such a weird and obtuse thing to talk about. I think it has got these psychosexual connotations with, if you are a biological male, that is to say, psychosexual connotations with the view of the penis as a weapon, as a missile shooting weapon. And that area of that avenue of thought, I don't know if it's worth exploring further. What's the stupidest book, Manospondylus asks, that you know, but you would still recommend? I think it would have to be, I had really high hopes for him, but Whitley Strieber's Communion, and he's got like several follow-up books to Communion too. So they're really like, so this book has this kind of like fame, and I actually have a big video about it, so go watch that if you want. But this book has a fame as like a genuine alien encounter, and then you keep reading it and it's just like this sort of boring rich white guy's fantasy about, it's just so generic, there's nothing interesting there. But the guy's conceit is more fascinating to read than aliens themselves. He's got such like white American problems and worries. Steve Mopcannon says, have you heard of Humanity Lost by Callum Stephen Diggle? Yes, Callum is also a great online friend. He has godlike talent. Unbelievable. Humanity Lost. Go read it. It's amazing. Oreosaurus says, I'll stop being weird now. No, never stop being weird. Just maybe one comment per minute. TK Sivgin says, I like the Communion movie more than the book. Yes, yes. It's so scary. It's one of those films I can never like begin to watch. Oh, that and this other fucking film, Jacob's Ladder. Have you heard of it? Fuck that. I'm not even seeing that in daylight. Jacob's Ladder, Event Horizon, and Communion. I could never watch those three films. Actually, I could probably watch Communion, but the other two, I'm not touching. I got enough on my plate already. Oh, we got more people coming in. We were like 23 hombres at one moment. Now down to 18. Rexy Rex says, I just spent GBP 140 on a big blue plastic Torosaurus Latus. Well, it's a purchase of a lifetime. Happy you did this. I also have some like stuff here too, by the way. Like there is a Dino Riders Cantrosaurus, if you can see it clearly. Oh, wait. That there. Oh, and above it, oh my God, it's the soldier of God. Unbelievable. Now I'm going to show you a character from my life. So out of this world, you're not going to believe it. Ladies and gents, be prepared to meet the soldier of God. Oh my fucking God, he's coming. Behold, now behold, the soldier of God. Yes. Of course, I'm being like funny and hyperbolic, but a couple of weeks ago, I was exploring a burnt down mansion, and it was like over 150 years old. It had burned down. In the wreckage, I found this piece, which was a wooden decoration. It actually was a piece used to hold window blinds open. So it was like this. It was a hinge, basically. But it had survived the fire. So I took it. Then I also had an acacia spike, which is like very, very sharp. How can you see this? Okay, I had this acacia spike. Okay, and there it is. So I gave it a weapon. And then a couple of days later, I found this dead butterfly. And you can see I mounted the dead butterfly's wings behind the back and the shoulders of the soldier of God. And then I covered it with like literally 2 layers of black paint. But I got this like, so when I'm painting, I have the nice black paint, which I buy from like the paint shop and shit. But then I have the filthy black paint, which. So this jar I've been keeping for 10 years. Whenever I paint with ink or like other stuff, like acrylics, gouache, when there's black paint left over, it goes into this jar. It's mostly acrylic. The only thing I don't mix in this is oil colors because, well, they're a bitch to manage. But for 10 years, I've kept this jar. And I know what some of you people are thinking. You're kind of sick. But, I have spat in this jar and there's like, I've gargled and like, and it's just full of like the most wild concoction of ink and black paint ever. So I used 3 layers of that crap paint to paint the soldier of God. Then I gave him the weapon, which is the spear of Longinus, I think, which is just an acacia branch. Then he's got his butterfly wings, because I like that song. Come, my baby, come, come, my baby, you're my butterfly, sugar, honey. So he's got this thing. So he's just an all around, like, I wanted this thing to look cursed, if you haven't gotten the gist yet. Then I covered him with 3 separate layers of acrylic varnish. And as you can see, from all this shit I've been covering him in, all these like grime and salt and ash and probably calcium is seeping out, discoloring the paint, just making a mess of things. Just a regular fetish object. I like this sort of stuff. Everybody, please, for as a respect, uh, please type "fight the good fight, soldier of God." So this guy can have a good time protecting my house from curses. Fight the good fight, soldier of God. Yes, fight. Oh, God. Yes, he's fighting the good fight for all of you. So you don't have to take shit from this charnel house and shitstorm, which we call life, which we called adult life. Yeah, yep. VM says fight the good fight, and Razum says TK Sivgin, absent fish, Rexy Rex. Well, I hope I could cheer you up, and I hope you all fight the good fight too. I'm gonna upload pictures of this guy soon. Fight the good fight, soldier of God. Should we make a T-shirt from this? Yeah, I could make a T-shirt. Would you buy it on the merch store? All right, all right, it's coming. I told it right here. It's coming. Oh, it's my good friend Spinotsar. Merhaba Rabbi Kusaman. He says, I wish I was a rabbi. VM says, I'm the biggest fan of the soldier of God. Yeah, everyone. We've been reduced to fetish voodoo magic over here. With this black paint, it's got my spit. God knows what else in it. We will have an army of God. Oh, Lord. I'll just put back the soldier of God, and you would not believe. I also have the shofar, the pipe of God, which is just this plastic thing I found the other day. Best thing about this is that it's just you can take it. Uh-huh. Oh my God, it's telescopic. And I can blow on this thing like a shofar. All right. Music, says Oreosaurus. May the soldier of God rest well on his shelf. Are you going to do a meetup in London one day, says Louis J. I hope so. Hello, Mr. Kozeman. Oh. Okay, let's end the silliness for now and let me go back to answering your question. The next time I blow on this horn, it's going to be for the end of the stream, so hold on, okay? But it's very handy, like I could carry it on me. It goes in my pocket. You know, whenever I'm in an important business meeting or there's some family affair or I don't know, something like a funeral or somebody's wedding or some shit, I could just whip this out and just blow my horn. Literal doomsday alarm, yes. Motherfucking Israfil over here. Okay, let's go back to proper questions now. I'm having a good time though. And believe me, this is just one corner of my shelves. There's like 10 times the size of this space elsewhere in the house. And each shelf has a different spirit, ghost, or demon haunting it. Okay, it's almost been an hour. I'm slowly going to call it a night. After reading these last questions, in previous years, after seeing an up to date T Rex model, I remember thinking, what a goofy creature, says M. Now, I agree. It probably was built like a bear. Tyrannosaurs generally are very weird theropods. They're like birds trying to evolve into dogs, if anything. Their skulls remind me of pit bulls and other dogs. They don't look like dinosaurs at all. They're extremely specialized with the forward facing eyes and all that. I think they look ridiculous, but were probably deadly. Considering we have billions of years of prey instincts, do you think our aesthetic opinions should have credibility in determining the truth of how creatures look like? Maybe, I don't know, like when instincts come into play, they usually create myths or monsters. Like if you look at myths, there are things like centaurs, which combine the speed of a horse and like the body of a hunter. So our instincts always like go for these superlatives or combinations of creatures. They make up for some amazing mythology, but I don't think they're very good material for scientific accuracy. What type of catastrophe would set us back to Stone Age? I don't know. Probably a super volcano or not even that. I don't think we can ever go back to Stone Age. I mean, like, it's more easy to go extinct rather than going back to Stone Age. Because, like, even in the worst situation, somebody will think about, composite spares or something. And I think that stage of technological evolution also had something to do with the connections in humans' minds as well. Human make AI. Okay. Have you seen the landscape with invisible hand? It's a new alien movie, says Absent Fish. No, I haven't. I will look forward to it though. Nearly an hour, everybody. I'm just gonna have an early night. But any last questions? Any last comments? Spinosaur says, do you think the development of hunter gatherers do you think the development of human civilizations from hunter gatherers was inevitable? Maybe not. If you look at the Americas, farming developed quite lately, actually. And it seems that hunter gatherers became farmers in only like very specific river environments. So if the geography of the world was a little different, maybe it would never have had to emerge. I kindly urge my friend Oreosaurus, please do not chain post because there are many other people in this chat. They all have a right to say something. Make all your comments in one sentence and post it that way. Louis J says, once you see what's possible with technology, you can never unsee it. Yeah, I agree. In the post apocalyptic world, people will be able to reverse engineer a lot of things. Exactly my ideas. Louis J says, do a meetup in London. I wish, I wish. But at the moment, no money. Really, the visas cost money, the plane tickets cost money, and our currency is just down the drain. Like one meal in London literally costs as much as the minimum monthly income just 2 years ago. It's horrendous. I'll buy you all the coffee. Ah, thank you. Well, look, if I come to London, everybody on this channel will know, okay? And then we can organize a meetup. I am more interested in the US of A though. I guess it won't jinx it at this point, but I have made a green card lottery application. And everybody, if you believe in any superior force, pray that it works. So maybe I can become an American. No, really though. I mean, if I lived in the States, I could take this channel to a whole new heights. Maybe it could be my entire day job. The one of the only reasons I'm not monetizing this channel also has to do with tax shit, to be honest. But if I was in the state, I could maybe attempt to do this as a full-time job. And like Americans have money for everything. Unbelievable. You don't know how lucky you are. Okay, your health system sucks, and you are kind of being exploited by a dual party system of corporate and government oversight. But so are we all. In terms of like starting ground, although there's a lot of unfairness over there, but there's unfairness everywhere. So like, god damn. America is so passe, says Edward Dore. You should have gone in the late 20th century. Yeah. Yeah, like Fievel goes to New York kind of shit. I agree. Yeah. Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island. Yeah. What is your name? I could be the weird Judeo European Mediterranean immigrant. Spinoza gives a counterfactual. People in the American Southwest were giving up on agriculture after. Yeah, technology is sometimes forgettable, but some basic tricks, I mean, like boiling water and stuff, I mean, they would be very hard to forget. Popular says, come to Cali, California, everybody, California. I just have this song in my memory from childhood. Lorelei says, if you come to LA, I will have the utmost pleasure of showing you around. Well, I will have the utmost pleasure in being your guest. And I recall you texting me privately saying you met some people from Ankara the other day. And how did that turn out? Come to America, we have mug root beer. Fuck, man, you got mug root beer. You have Culver's butter burgers. You have Dr. Peppers and shit. If I come to the States, I would no longer have this svelte body. I would turn into a blobby or balloon person from just nonstop eating and drinking. Edward Dory says, although Americans have a lot of disposable incomes, they do not engage with experimental art in the way you would see in Europe. Somewhat agree. I don't know. I don't know. Some of the experimental art I see in Europe is like extremely quote unquote bland. What Europeans have an edge in is, I think, like for example, very specific niches. Like there's a joke that if you discover a new species of fish in like the most remote cave in the world, turns out some German fish breeders will already have been breeding it and have studied it meticulously 10 years ago. So that sort of specificity is sometimes rare in the States, but I mean, there's so many things to throw money at, and there's so much money to throw to, and it all gets reciprocated. Like if you have like a club for weird, rare Japanese computers or something, I'm just making them up. Some people come out of the woodwork in the States and like form a community. That's very rare in Europe or the UK. TK Sirgin says, come to Florida, wrestle some alligators. Oh no, those things are dangerous. How many ants would it take to lift an average human? Several billion, probably, but from in pieces. Popular says, we love our niches. Okay, not too much of a conversation with the Ankara tourist, says Lorelei Sinai. Absent fish makes the, wow, this is a motto. Toot the horn before the sleep to go smoothly into the deep. All right. Well, I am coming up to horn tooting time. Niall asks, weird question, what is your religion? It's a private matter. I have my own understanding, mystical understanding of the world. And when I do a DNA test, I come out as ethnically Jewish. But I don't know. I have my own private understanding. I used to be this completely skeptical new atheist, but just doesn't cut it for me anymore. Niall says, well, perhaps in response to my Sephardic ancestry, as if that's sus thing. I don't get what you're getting at, brother or sister. Edward Dory says, your optimism regarding American art is interesting. I found the culture to be quite anti-intellectual. Okay, so don't get me wrong. Like, if I might make a vast generalization, I think the only two countries ever in the world that create original art come either from England, the United Kingdom, or Japan, perhaps also China. Where if you go to the British, they really value art and culture, but they like value legacy art and culture. So they have a way of painting and seeing the world that's really unique. And it trickles down to the rest of the Britain, and then some part of it trickles down to the US, and there the Americans take it over again. But like I think the crux of that whole thing comes from Great Britain. And of course, this was a vast generalization. I know in a lot of places in the States there is art clubs or galleries or art bars or something where the art, quote unquote, coming out of these venues is always a bit like cliquey, gimmicky, this kind of like Mark Ryden type, like fantastic, grotesque, but also graffiti style crap art, which I don't really like. In the States, you also have the overwhelming dominance of New York, and sometimes they are extremely superficial in New York, yes. But then in the States, you have got people like Walton Ford, that's Walton Ford, who is this just phenomenal painter. Go look him up. Now, only the States can afford to produce a person, a human being like Walton Ford. But in the greater realm of art, I mean, Britain is still supreme. You got people like Lucian Freud or mm, even David Hockney. You got many painters who are like proper painters, you know. Who was the other guy? Lucian Freud, but there was this a guy who's like Bacon. Amazing talent. Edward Dory says England is a land of eccentrics. Yes, that's why they're still so good at art. Gloomy says it would be nice if we could see you discussing more topics or science news on a podcast. Who knows? It could happen. Because I divide my life into several parts. There's my day job, there's my art, there's my books, then there's my YouTube. And when I do YouTube, I either streams or I have these like very specific videos. I know I could have more viewers if I like tackle day by day affairs, like day by day discoveries, but then I don't have the initiative. I I don't want to lose the initiative. But if I get my green card and move to the States and turn this into a full-time day job, maybe then I'll have to do it. I could have a nice studio with LED backlights. Yeah, that would be fun. Fernando Katekaik says, new game idea, crabs act like tanks and battle it out. There was actually a game where you do, it's a Japanese game, I believe, and where you play crabs that fight with knives, and you can choose between different, very realistically rendered species of crabs. Spinotzar says, if you came to the United States, which state would you live? I know, a place with lots of suburbia. Maybe some place like New Jersey or parts of Pennsylvania. I like a place with lots of little towns that I could drive around. Why did you take some time off from the channel for several weeks? I did not take time off. I am working on stuff on the background, but it just takes me some time to make high quality stuff for you guys. But as I told in the very beginning of this podcast or this live stream, just one person just sent, "Oh, I missed your streams," and I just turned on the stream by just like this, on a whim. Donkey Kong Max says, "Insert New Jersey joke." Yeah, Sopranos extended universe. I know the two places that I would not live in. I would never live in San Francisco or the overpriced cesspool that is New York City. I could live in Queens. Queens is nice. My type of the city. New Jersey is great because it's relatively cheap. Yeah, yeah. Like New Jersey, Delaware, that whole like Eastern Seaboard suburban grid. I really like that place. You could hop on your car, drive around, go to a shop, buy things. Fuck, man, you got Amazon.com. You know how what a like experience Amazon is in the States? You could fucking get anything. San Francisco is lovely to visit, but I can't imagine living there, says Lorelei. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a nice place. Fernando says, we have Culver's Burgers all around my area in Illinois. Okay. Donkey Kong says, do not go to Tennessee right now. Too damn hot. I actually like a lot of the southern states too. How do you feel about the Pacific Northwest? I just moved from California to Washington. Oh, unbelievable. I actually drove through all of the 101. I drove from Seattle all the way down to San Francisco. It was an amazing, unforgettable 2 weeks. It's like heaven on earth. It's like Return of the Jedi over there. Edward Dory says, it's a shame because San Francisco has a unique history with the hippies and the tech sector. Well, the tech sector destroyed it, I think. It's just unaffordable at this point. And Americans are the only people who can like get bored and afford to drive. Man, I'm in a mood. I just want to clear my head. I can't go on because the fucking gas tank costs like a shitload of money, basically. It's not money you could dispose of lightly, even if you're well off. And plus, there's traffic. Where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna clear your head? Nowhere. Could a parasite invade another parasite, says Fernando Catecaix? Yes. Actually, among parasitic wasps, it's been observed 4 layers of parasitic wasps have been observed. So there's a wasp that lays an egg inside an insect's egg. There's another wasp that lays an egg inside that egg. There's another wasp that there's an egg inside that egg and an egg. And there's a fourth wasp. Unbelievable. Parasiteception. Yeah. Big bugs have little bugs. Louis J says, what's the natural limit to parasitic layers? Size of the atom, probably. Because then those parasites could also have viruses, which would maybe also count as parasites. Now, those parasites could have bacteria, which could in turn have viruses. Ooh. Pepular says, what are your thoughts on orchids? Oh, they're nice flowers. They they make me feel things sometimes, but just want to crush them with my didgeridoo. No, orchids are great. I mean, there's even a kind of orchid-based drink in my part of the world. It's called boza. I love that stuff. Also, salep. Oh, they make a lot of things, feel things, says Popular about orchids, which must allude to those orchids which look like female wasps and like also smell like female wasps. So the male wasp comes over and is like, "Oh, baby, I'm gonna give you a good time," and he just like mates with the plant, but he ends up pollinating them. I wonder if those wasps are like the sort of right wing incel sorts of wasps that like prefer a plant because it doesn't talk back. Shit. Okay. My wife will pillow orchid, yeah. All right, everyone. It's almost been an hour and a half. Okay, last question by Fernando. Would you, personally, me, rather evolve into a crab or evolve into another convergent body plan? I don't know. I don't like to be a crab. I would love to be like a half lizard centaur. So the front of my body would be like me, but the back section would be like a lizard. So I would crawl on the ground. I would also have a long ass tail, like a mosasaur. So I would be amphibious. So I'd be like this hot naga lizard creature, man, sort of thing. Well, all right, everybody. It's been great. Thank you for meeting the soldier of God. He's behind me, waving his little weapon. And we are going to have Soldier of God t shirts. And thank you for attending. We had like 21 people so far. Now comes the fall of the curtain and the tooting of the pipe. I actually have several different pipes over here. Let's go. Okay, I got the plastic shofar right here, which we're going to blow for a good night's trip. But then I have the bamboo flute of Demeter. I found this by Ephesus, which was once home to a weird cult of Demeter, the goddess. So this is more like or trumpets of heaven. Yeah, yeah. I was also drinking this soda bottle, but it's empty now. But this makes for some great piping. Did you get a new haircut? Says Robert Fraxton. No, but I've been letting it grow and it's nice and silky. We're talking about a lot of things. Trumpets of heaven have blown. Sorry, we had the three trumps of heaven. We got the pipe of Demeter. We got the pipe of Sirma. And then we got the plastic pipe of Pan. I'm so happy to have your congregation. And then I got my great granddaddy's Ottoman pirate pistol. I'm going to shoot you all. Have a good night, wherever you all. Boom, you're dead.